The HIJAK Ruston is available for this week in GTA Online for about 430,000 in the LS car meet. Now, looking at the vehicle overall, it doesn't look too bad, and unfortunately this car suffers from being in the sports category. As you know, the sports category is one of the most dense categories in GTA. Some of the most overpowered cars are in there, so unfortunately we'll just see how this one does. The vehicle is doing good, however, in the customizations category. Rockstar ensured that this vehicle had enough customization for anyone who wants to make theirs stand out. As you can see, most of the bumpers have a different form, gives it another feature, and I must say, Rockstar did a good job, especially the exhaust. Not quite sure why I didn't expect it to have this much level of customization. The hoods, I could say the same. You wouldn't really necessarily need too much details on that. It is a very small vehicle, so I guess it would get overlooked. Now, customization for the plate. Let's do the plate first before we get into the colors. Exempt, of course. Now, the secondary color controls the diffuser, and I'm sure you could add more parts to the secondary category, so whichever parts would be secondary, of course. As you can see, the brakes having a little bit of issues with the calipers and the rims. As you can see, the rims are just too big, so the texture just wasn't gonna clear it. So I will change that. I definitely don't like how that looks. It looks very odd to see only the rotors and not the calipers. But some of these colors look very good on this car, I must say. And it has nice body lines, as you can see. So we should do a nice color, very nice and pleasing today, but still shows the body features of the vehicle. And I'm going to skip forward until I get this. So we ended up with the gasoline green and the white diffuser combo. Not too bad, but it may need some revision in the future. So looking at the roll cages, you could actually make a and B pillar frame with this thing. Not really my style. I definitely prefer the whole exposed look. No windshield, no windows, or nothing. So we'll just keep it like this. Skirt, vintage skirt, looks nice. The splitters are generic. They came from other cars, but let's see. Is it worth doing something to this one? Hard choices here between 4 choices, right, guys? So moving on to the wing. And I do not like these wings, but they are good choices, especially with the character and theme of the vehicle. Let's do the low-level spoiler, because we do have the second option. And this is how I bought it from the LS car meet, so I didn't pre-customize this car. Transmission, turbo tuning, wheels. I'm going to skip forward here so I don't bore you guys. So as you can see, as I said before, I had to resolve the whole caliper issue. Okay, I'll let that one slide. Now, having to resolve the whole caliper issue, I did go ahead and change the stock rims. Something more track focused. So I was kind of torn between doing these rims in chrome or just having them white. So we just chose on the white, maybe we'll change them later. The interior is nice. For some reason, this is shared between multiple cars, which are roofless and windshieldless, but this one, it really fits it. So let's take it for a drive and see if it actually is worth purchasing for almost $500,000, guys, which is cheap for GTA Online. Definitely the economy of GTA Online must be either booming or in terrible shape. Because honestly, no car that came out recently is like around this price point, unless it's not that good. So is this worth it? And as a person that drove it around off camera, I say yes. This vehicle is one of the prime examples of vehicles that should not be in certain classes. For certain track-focused vehicles or track-based vehicles, you wouldn't necessarily see this thing driving around in regular commuter traffic. So for vehicles that have a specialty for closed course racing, it definitely is one of the top. The SM722 is one of the most recent cars that we have in this class or in this category of vehicles, and this one is easily a few paces behind the SM722. Of course, the GTA golden rule is always in effect. A car newer or recently released is always faster than an older car, for the most part, right? So the HIJAK, right, is a good example of what a car could have been if it just had the right class. This is a nice car to drive around. As you can see there, I got a little squirrely because I'm hitting the bumps, but most cars, once you're at full power, and that's actually a realistic feature, if you're going all out and you hit a bump, you could lose control. If your tire breaks contact, you could actually lose control and could crash into something. So for those of my younger viewers who know that, you do know, that's actually a realistic feature. So the HIJAK is a nice, precise car. If you know the course very well, you know what to dodge, how to hit it at certain angles, it's actually very easy to win. But that also falls on top of itself by it being in the sports class. In the sports class, no one's going to choose a vehicle like this unless you have a nice group of people who you can actually trust to like choose a similar vehicle as this, because most likely if they get something like a Pariah or a GTO or RSX, right, the Ruston is just going to get blown out of the water. But nonetheless, it's quite too old to be challenging these newer cars, so it's just going to fall right down on its face. But in terms of free roam driving, this is very good. If I'm just having one of those chill lobbies, I would definitely pull this out and drive it around town. So for $430,000, definitely worth it, because you ain't getting anything else for that type of money. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you think about the HIJAK Ruston? First time I'm hearing the name, didn't know this existed.